Joining us now is OjyOkpe, back in action. The story is trending around the world.
I didn't go anywhere. I've always been here. I've always been here. I didn't go anywhere. We had a few lives and some, controversy, but it was good. I've been here. How are you? How was your weekend?
I'm good.
Perfect.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Good morning, Ayo. I missed you. You look
Same here.
yummy.
And you too, as always.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
How are you? Bless you.
Ashego. Yeah. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In France, as the nation entered its sixth day of unrest following the deadly shooting of 17-year-old teenager Nahel by a police officer during a traffic stop on Tuesday, June 30th, the teenager's grandmother, Nadia, on Sunday, appealed to protesters to stop the riots and destruction, which saw a mayor's home vandalized with a burning car that injured family members. The unrest is the worst social upheaval the country has faced in years. In Mexico, a mayor in San Pedro Guamelula town, Victor Hugo Sosa, married a female Cayman on Sunday in a traditional ceremony which is believed to bring good fortune to his people. The mayor is said to have reenacted an ancestral ritual, setting social media abuzz after stating that he and the alligator-like reptile, nicknamed Princess Girl, were in love. In Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Sunday arrived in Abuja from Lagos, where he had observed the Eid-ul-Kabir holidays. The president's aircraft touched down at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and was received by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and the country's National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, among other dignitaries. Under sports, world's fastest female hurdler, Tobiloba Amushon, delivered an impressive performance on Sunday, winning the Stockholm Diamond League women's 100-meter hurdles with a record time of 12.52 seconds. It is her first Diamond League win of the year and her second event win of the season, having also won the Racers Grand Prix in Jamaica. The 26-year-old set a new stadium record with her win as she continues to prepare for the World Championships in Budapest. Finally, under entertainment, Grammy Award-winning Afrofusion singer Burna Boy on Sunday received a birthday surprise from his family in the Netherlands as he performed on stage. The singer, who recently won his 4th BET Award in the Best International Act category, turned 32 on July 2nd. A video showing the singer dancing in excitement as his family serenaded him with a birthday song was shared on the singer's Instagram page.
It is actually Burna's birthday today. Today. Right now.
Well, can we say happy birthday to our star Burna Boy?
Birthday.
He's 32, Dr. Bati.
Well,
He's 32 years
congratulations
old.
to him.
Yeah.
Importantly, it's not about his age.
Absolutely.
It's the fact that he's one of those diamonds that
Yes.
we cherish in
That's
Nigeria.
that.
Best International Act and the BET Awards. He keeps producing in the Afrobeat tradition, one hit after another. Congratulations to him and to his family, because he was surrounded by family members at that event. Brings a lot of creativity to the work.
Love it.
Brings a lot of energy, a lot of dedication, And his parents have been very supportive.
Yes.
His mom is,
there she is. She's beautiful.
Boss, Ugulo, she's been a very supportive mother. And congratulations to all mothers who stand by their sons and their daughters.
I heard you say he
and
should
by,
get married.
and by their husbands too.
But I heard you say he should get married. That's what you're asking him to do now.
Well, we have to look for a wife for him.
Absolutely.
And to all these bachelors, I do bachelors all over the place. Can they just get onto it? From border boy to present company.
Present company.
And the one that will come
don't
after this program.
Let me say this. Let me say this strongly. You see, God will answer you.
Amen. Well, like, talking about marriages, my story in Mexico, the mayor, if we can pull up that visual of that Mexican mayor who got married to a reptile, an alligator-like reptile. I mean,
Why
it's an age. No, that was the question. It's an age-old religion or tradition, but that's the question everyone is asking. If they are so in love, we should untie his mouth so that they can.
It's a ritual. So
it's a ritual. Okay, let's respect everyone.
Crocodile meat is delicious.
Dr. Bati,
really?
You know that it's not allowed.
No, I once went to visit a governor. I don't want to mention.
Really?
Now, blessed memory. And look, it was a crocodile that was taken from the pond, prepared, and we sat overnight, consuming the meat with vintage wine.
All right, we're going to have that conversation.
Try the meat someday.
No ways. No ways.
Someone's bride.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Well, all right. All right, then. Well, let's begin what's trending. A report by Punch newspapers over the weekend detailing remuneration packages for service chiefs who were retired by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday, June 19th, garnered several reactions on social media. According to the report, the ex-servicemen are to receive bulletproof sport utility vehicles, personal aid guards, and other perks, including generous allowances for medical treatment abroad. Some Nigerians criticize the retirement package as it is coming at a time many are calling for the reduction in the cost of governance. Well, this is coming as Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, while responding to questions related to cutting down the cost of governance, criticized the large convoy that escorted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which went viral last week.
I don't know how you felt when you saw that video. I don't know if you have seen it, sir.
I wasn't opportune to see the video.
It consisted of 124 cars.
I wasn't opportune to see it. You are just telling me. But let me tell you what I've always said. The present Nigeria requires that all those who serve and lead must do so by example. The behavior and their public conduct must be a consonance with what the society requires today. We cannot continue to preach for the people to sacrifice without sacrificing. We must not, the sacrifice must now start from the leaders. Visibly, measurably, at all sides. Because the people are suffering. And we must now be at the forefront of the suffering. Thank you.
Well, reacting to Peter Obi's comments, some users on social media pulled up a video of his large convoy when he was a presidential candidate. Let's take a look.
Confirm! Jesus! Obi for life! Come on! Which one? We don't give shishi. Where my car there? Oh? Yes. Woo! Yes. Our president. Yeah, intimidation.
Dr. Bati Rufai Ayo, this video trended over the weekend because obviously we saw President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's large convoy in Lagos where other government officials escorted him to his Bodilon residence. Over the weekend, I had a guest on the morning show. She was the spokesperson of the Obidati campaign, and she talked about the fact that this was campaign season and that, the convoy also were, supporters of, Peter Obi, and that we shouldn't mix issues. But what really it got a lot of social media users talking was the fact that Peter Obi had posted that tweet that we had up earlier where he referred to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Mr. President because, as you know, there is a litigation in court at this point with the presidential tribunal where he's contesting the presidency. But a lot of people are saying, how come he deleted the tweet after he had posted him, referring him as Mr. President? Let me take Michael's tweet. I know, Rufai, you want to talk. Michael wrote, I'm surprised that Peter Obi deleted the entire Twitter thread where he criticized Tinubu's convoy. Is it because he acknowledged Tinubu as Mr. President or because he was shown several videos of his long convoys during the campaign? Just so he rehearsed the thread.
So 2 things. I don't know why he deleted the tweet. He'll have to come and say why he deleted the tweet. But as of today, let's not get things mixed up.
Yeah.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Mr. President. He's President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I don't see, let's not be delusional. There are cases in courts. Until the court rules otherwise, as we speak today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Simple. Secondly, concerning the convoy, I think we mix up things because we want to be sensational. I have said for the Upton time, it was the convoy of other governors and other people that followed President Tinubu.
We said that.
I am not sure that President Tinubu had over 120 cars in the convoy. We have to say that.
Yeah, we said that on the show.
But this is also reflective of how much government officials squander money. Because even if you have a lot of government officials, the convoy should not be this much if you have all of them put together. We should be able to cut our coat according to our cloth. Thirdly, the direct comparison between a convoy during the campaign is just people not making good arguments. The argument fall on illogicality. Peter Obi then was still a candidate, was not president. If he is president and he brings up such a big convoy, I will be the first to condemn him. So, like you said, that Lagos Labour Party aide that came here, she was correct. It's like comparing apple and oranges. Yeah. They are candidates. They have not been sworn in. There's a huge difference. And this, you can see from the convoy, are other people following him too. Yeah. These are supporters, these are normal cars that they just decided to come en masse.
Yes, but you know what?
That's just it. Correct. But what we are saying is, please, government officials must cut down their costs, just like 4 bulletproof cars.
Yes, this is where I'm going, Rufai. This is the conversation. We are talking, it's the optics that look bad at that time. It's the optics that look bad. We're talking about cutting down the cost of governance. My first story that I don't know if the military has come out to, defend the report by Punch newspaper saying that, these ex-service chiefs will be getting, 36 soldiers, 20 domestic aids and all of that, and 4 bulletproof sport utility vehicles.
So when you're looking at it, can you calculate how much is going to get you 1 bulletproof SUV? What kind of bulletproof SUV in the first place? As of today, the new Land Cruiser they are selling is over 100 million naira.
Absolutely.
Plus you add on the ammo and add on for bulletproof, it will take it to over 200 or 300 million naira.
All right.
So when you now have that, I iterate that by the numbers, then you see that how much, so are you going to spend billions on cars alone? In a country where people are suffering, they can hardly earn 3 square meals a day. Right. This is why we need to be able to cut costs everywhere, because the optics look bad for people.
We haven't seen much. The only thing we saw last week was that the federal government approved the discontinuation of budgetary allocations to professional bodies and councils starting from the 2024 budget. There are at least 25 professional associations or councils in Nigeria that are funded by the federal government. Some of them, like the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, and under the Ministry of Health, the Nursing and Midwifery Council, the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria, and the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria will all be affected. This was a shocker for a lot of people at the time, because people are saying, these ministries, these professional bodies were funded by the federal government as well. But this is a step that we have seen so far. And it was a meeting between the Presidential Committee on Salaries. It was their 13th meeting, and they did that budget cut in the 2024.
So Oji, whilst we praise this, these are still low-hanging fruits. We're waiting for the major ones. We're waiting for the major ones that will make an incredible dent or affect significantly cost of governance. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the number of aides, salary structure, transparency of how aides are remunerated. We're looking at Esther Code paid out to government officials when they go abroad for conferences. We're looking at the number of personnel or aides that the president takes with him when he travels abroad for these conferences. They're important, but we believe that it can be leaner. So yes, it's important. In fact, one of our correspondents was interviewing one of these bodies, and they said they haven't received money from the federal government in a very long time. So it means that if run properly, they can self-fund. They then become more creative in looking for ways to fund the association. So through subscription monies, through going out and actually looking for money to run their events. So great one. But that's not what we're looking for. That's not enough for us in Nigeria. When we're looking at cutting the cost of governance, we're looking at the president's office. We're looking at the amount of money spent on overseas treatment. We're looking at the money spent on overseas education for their children. We're looking at largesse, monies that can be that can be saved. We're looking at the over-bloated civil service and looking at agencies that are duplicated and performing exactly the same function or complementary function. So good move, but still not good enough if they're asking us all to sacrifice. And we see Nigerians sacrificing on a daily basis. Let it start from the top.
Well said, Ayo. Dr. Bati, your comments on all the stories.
Okay, a number of issues. One, about the severance package or retirement package, as it is otherwise called. Look, it's statutory. Certain categories of officials in Nigeria, retired service chiefs, retired AIGs, DIGs, retired generals, you know, they are given certain benefits. First, there's severance package. Second, there's retirement package. Former presidents, former deputy governors, former governors in various states of the Federation collect all of this. In fact, the remuneration for former presidents is even written into the annual budget. At a point, it was about 70 billion naira. I guess the whole idea for service chiefs, for retired generals and AIGs and DIGs and senior officers is the whole idea of making sure that, okay, they constitute a reserve army, you know, a reserve force that can be called back if there is any emergency in the country. But the problem we have in this regard is that we have not had such emergency that you see the reserve force being called into action in Nigeria. So the principle of it is one thing. But where the problem lies is the abuse. And this has been very controversial, particularly at the state level. When people protest that, look, how can a man be a governor for just 4 years and you say he will enjoy benefits for the rest of his life? If he is entitled to pension, pay him his normal pension. But if you look at the protest about these service chiefs, it's about the outrageous nature of what was reported in the papers. What will a man do with 4 SUVs?
I don't know.
Because what the statutory provision says is that those SUVs will be changed periodically. And then the man who has retired is entitled to medical care with his family once a year.
Abroad.
With children. Abroad. And then what will you do with 36 aides and cooks and all kinds of, you know, just living office and living like royalty? So Nigerians have every reason to feel outraged by that. But the principle is different from the abuse. So is that abuse that is the problem? And a number of persons have come forward to say, oh, this looks like some form of a political settlement. Now that is deplorable. That is unacceptable, if that is the case. But statutorily, there are many persons out there who will serve Nigeria for just 4 years, or who will be chief of staff of defense or whatever for just 2 years, and they will be collecting rent from Nigeria for the rest of their lives. And that is where the average Nigerian is angry. Because the average Nigerian will tell you, okay, why are we, the ordinary people, we people that wake up very early in the morning to work and put in a hard day's work, why should we be striving? And some people will be collecting rent from Nigeria. The other leg of it is cost of governance, which is about the implementation of the Onronsaye report, which we're told, okay, an attempt is being made now to cut subventions to professional bodies. Well, many of those professional bodies have said it is not true, that they don't collect any subvention. In case anybody has been writing that into the Nigerian budget
That is another
and collecting money on their behalf, that should be investigated
immediately.
So there have been objections from some of those professional bodies. Some of those professional bodies say they run their organizations through subscriptions by members, through levies on members. However, the other leg of it is that some people have said some of those professional bodies, like the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria and some health-related agencies, need to be funded by government, because those ones who cannot survive on subvention. But the thing is that if government's intention is to implement the Oronsaye report, then it has to be wholesale.
Yeah.
The Oronsaye report talks about duplications. It's not talking just about subventions and subscriptions. It talks about duplication. It talks about territoriality. You make a man a minister now, the first thing you will look at is the number of parastatals under his ministry. If you table the report, all of them will be fighting. They don't want anything to be taken away from them, because the tradition is that every Friday, there's this OjyOkpe tradition that some people have talked about, whereby you get some support from the parastatals under your, and that's why some people are more interested in certain ministries more than others. Nigeria cannot run like that at a time where we're cutting fat, at a time where we're cutting leakages. On the issue of Convoy, well, it's still about cost of governance. That's the context.
That's actually
Peter Obi was campaigning. As a private citizen, he can have as long a convoy as he wants. But the government has to cut costs, has to cut fat. Leadership by example.
All right.
This is the whole point.
All right. And again, we're still waiting for the military to confirm those allocations. Well, in another development, outspoken musician Charlie Boy, who has been a long-time activist for social change, trended over the weekend after he called on Nigerian youth to take a cue from the riots in France in order to fight the system letting them down. The musician posted a video of burning buildings in the aftermath of the ongoing riots in France over the killing of a teenager by a police officer. The development sparked widespread unrest across major cities in the country, with many hitting the streets in protest against the teenager's death. Charlie Boy's tweet reads, 9% of the population has brought down entire cities. Karma from Africa. I'm waiting on the exceptional Nigerian youth to reject a system that let them down una destiny, they una hand. Well, the director of publicity for the Tinubu-Shetima campaign, Bayo Ononuga, in responding to Charlie Boy's tweet, described the musician's post as highly irresponsible. The renowned journalist also urged security operatives in the country to call him to order immediately. Rufai, I know you have a comment on this one. Really quick.
So, I do not support Charlie Boy's tweet.
No, I don't either.
Because of what is happening in France. Our heart goes out to those that have lost property and all of that. And the police too should not have shot the boy.